a minute before full time.
Quick one, what did you say to Russell Penn afterwards?
I said that I thought their team was really unlucky, and I felt that, you know, they had probably deserved, as I said, to get the game to penalty kicks.
David, thanks for taking the time with us. Congratulations for getting through as well. Cheers. David Moyes, the West Ham manager, after his team scraped through, said he felt bad for Kidderminster when Jarrod Bowen tapped in the winner right at the end of extra time. I think we all felt bad for Kidderminster when that goal went in, didn't we? Back to you, Dan.
Adrian Durham, well said, thank you very much. Deadlock broken at Goodison Park this afternoon with Talksports' Steve Hothersall.
Everton 1, Brentford 0. Frank Lampard's Everton side are up and running officially. Yerry Mina heading home from a corner. A bullet header past the Brentford keeper, David Raya. Frank turned to the director's box and gave a huge fist pump. It had been coming. Everton have got that energy that you get in a new manager's side. And after half an hour they're ahead. Everton 1, Brentford 0.
A try in the Six Nations at the Aviva. Talksport, David Brady.
And it's the second of the half for Andrew Conway. It looked like the opportunity might have been wasted when James Ryan cut inside with men on the outside, with Ireland recycled, moved the ball right. Jamison Gibson Park floating a long pass to Conway, and he the easiest of run-ins to the corner.
Harrogate 2, Bradford 0 a full-time score. Barrow 0, Tranmere 1. Crawley 1, Stevenage 0 is a latest score. Forest Green lead Newport. Colchester lead at Leyton Orient. Sutton lead Bristol Rovers. And Northampton lead at Walsall. And it's now Blackpool 2, Bristol City 0 in the Championship. Gary Medine with the goal. And you are up to date. Charlton 2, Wimbledon 2, a latest score. Here is Ayer for Brentford. Corner of the 18-yard box. Out wide to Roerslev. Infield to Jensen, corner of the 18-yard box again, almost at walking pace here, Brentford, but it's into the penalty area for Ayer, and Canos with a first-time snapshot, and Pickford with a good save away to his left.
Really good, intricate play by Brentford, just fashioned an opportunity inside Everton's box, but Pickford was equal to the shot. Really good shot by Canos, could have gone in the top corner, good save.
Kevin Campbell, former Everton striker, alongside me today. Everton have a corner at the Gladys Street end of Goodison Park, two-tiered and quite a few pillars in the way. Janssen and Ayer both forward, as you would expect. And Tony lurking at the far post. It looks like Janelt is the man who's gone across to take the corner, surrounded by Everton fans. Everton have brought everybody back to defend this as it's whipped in high towards Janssen, right underneath the crossbar. Pickford did well to punch it away two-handed, and then the shot is deflected over the top. Free kick to Everton. And
you can't see him, I don't think.
I'm thankful for that, yeah, because only you can't. The pillar was in the way.
Yeah, the pillar. Look, Brentford are such a big side. They've got three big centre halves who go up there who can cause Everton real issues, and they put themselves in and around the goalkeeper to obviously stop Pickford coming for the ball and to try and get a flick on, but they just impeded him, unfortunately. So well done to the referee for giving that one. Everton have to be very careful.
MK Dons 1, Lincoln 1 in League One, an equaliser for the home team. You're listening to Everton 1, Brentford 0 in Frank Lampard's first game in charge. Yerry Mina the goal scorer. Live coverage of the FA Cup on Talksport 2, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Pickford's clearance hangs up in the wind there, and it's knocked forward towards Canos, who got it back from Tony. Edge of the penalty area, nudges it wide to Tony. Flag stays down. Everton fans wanted a free kick. Norgard whips it in from the edge of the box, high to the far post. Henry's cushioned header. Janelt with his back to goal. Left-hand edge of the penalty area. Out further wide was Beck Sørensen, whose cross loops up into the air, takes a big deflection. Pickford can't stop it from going behind. Brentford's third corner of the game.
Brentford are starting to push a little bit. They're starting to hit Tony and play off the big man up top. So I think Everton are going to have to obviously defend properly and be very vigilant, because Brentford are a very capable side, especially at set pieces.
5 minutes of the first half remaining on Talksport 2. 4 rather. That ticked by quickly. Matthias Jensen will take the corner. That royal blue corner flag fluttering in the wind here, which is not inconsiderable. It has had an effect on a couple of high balls already today. Brentford a goal down. Jensen floats it in high towards the far post. Yerry Mina with a clearing header at his defensive end. Back in by Canos. Knocked away by Everton again. Richarlison has beaten the defender to the ball. That's going to be a yellow card, surely. It was a cynical foul by Roerslev on the halfway line. Richarlison poked it in front of him with ease, and Roerslev with a professional foul, and it's a free kick and a booking.
It's one he had to make, Joe. He had to make it, really did, because that was a break. That would have been 2v1 otherwise. So professional yellow.
Another busy week on Talksport Breakfast earlier this week. Lots of highlights. Gabiag Bon-Lahore very strong on Roy Keane, and we heard Ali McCoist on Aaron Ramsey joining Rangers. Said he should bring neeps and tatties and haggis into his diet now that he's moved north of the border. And much more to come from 6 a.m. next Monday with some heavyweight boxing guests, Eddie Hearn, Katie Taylor and Jake Paul. That's Talksport Breakfast from 6 on Monday. Here is Andre Gomez, back to goal. Little Cruyff turn away from Ayer momentarily. Then he knocks the pass wide to Michaelenko. First time high-hanging left-footed cross. Swerves away from goal. Coleman couldn't reach it. Tony back defending for Brentford, who trail here at Goodison. And then it's hammered high upfield by Beck Sørensen, but only as far as Frank Lampard's technical area. And it's a throw to Everton on the near side.
Yeah, good break by Everton, and wasn't the greatest ball by Mykolenko, but they kept it alive, and Everton's still on the attack.
And near side there, right. Coleman dinks it high towards the corner flag. And Beck Sørensen was the favourite and the first to it. Hams the clearance upfield, and then the header by Janelt. It's straight to the chest of Michael Keane. Keane floats the ball down the middle towards Richarlison, who is coming back from an offside position. And David Raya able to pounce on the loose ball. One or two Everton fans, certainly in the director's area in front of us, directly in front of us, heading for their half-time refreshments. There are 90 seconds of normal time left. 1-0 they lead, and you'd have to say, Kevin Campbell, that Frank Lampard is going to be pretty happy, I think, on balance.
I think he will definitely be happy. Obviously, there's certain things that they need to work on, and I'm sure he's going to work. He's going to tell Gordon and Demarai Gray to get on the ball as much as they can. But all in all, a decent performance in the first half.
You have to remember, Everton have been on a dreadful run of form, home and away. 2 wins in 15 in all competitions. Their last victory, the last ultimately for Rafa Benitez, was the win at Hull in the 3rd round of the Cup. And Everton haven't won a Premier League game since early December. They have a big trip to Newcastle to come next Tuesday before a home game here against Leeds. So Frank Lampard will need to hit the ground running.
Nothing is better for any team or new manager than a win. They need a win.
And so far, so good in the 4th round of the Cup for Everton. But Brentford will certainly have something to say about that. They've threatened once or twice. Canos with the effort saved by Pickford. Here is Gray, though, darting through the middle at pace for Everton. He's got 2 defenders in front of him. Gray goes on the outside, left-footed effort. He just slipped as he tried to shoot, and in the end he got it all wrong, sliced it over the top.
It opened up for Demarai Gray, great penetrating run. But if he just had a look to his left, Richarlison was there. If he just slipped him, he might have got a second goal, but unlucky.
We will have 3 added minutes at the end of the first half. We've got goals now in all of the FA Cup ties so far today, because Norwich lead at Wolves by 1-0. Kenny McLean, the scorer, just before half-time. John Jackson will give you all of the half-time scores from around the grounds around the country as they come in on Talksport 2. 1-0 to Everton on a day of high FA Cup drama so far. We haven't quite had the level of excitement that we saw at Agborough on Talksport, and you heard at Stamford Bridge earlier here on Talksport 2, but it's been a very positive first 45 minutes for Frank Lampard so far, though Brentford, I think, will feel that they have created enough to pose a threat in the second period, if indeed it is still the same scoreline at half-time. Janelt trying to change that with a late burst into the penalty area, and the ball is out of play via an Everton head for a Brentford corner.
Brentford are trying to work down that right-hand side especially, to try and get in behind Keane. And Keane done well to really read it and then get it out for a corner.
We are halfway through the 3 minutes of added time. Corner at the Gladys Street end for Brentford, and it was whipped in at pace by Janelt, viciously swerving towards the near post, but swerving a little too viciously. It went behind for a goal kick.
Too viciously. The wind played its part, definitely there.
Well, there are 1 or 2 little gaps in the crowd now. Empty blue seats starting to emerge because the Everton fans feel confident enough to start heading for the concourse areas. They lost Ben Godfrey early to injury, but his replacement, Yerry Mina, with a thumping header for the first goal under Frank Lampard. Pickford's left-footed clearance, long and out of play, and so Everton do lead at half-time by 1-0. Frank Lampard has spent the whole of the first half really hopping up and down in his technical area, issuing instructions, and he was never more positive and never happier than in the 31st minute when Mina headed them into that lead. A big broad smile on the new manager's face. At the other end, Canos tested Pickford, but Brentford, that aside, haven't really created any clear-cut opportunities. And at half-time here on Talksport 2 in the FA Cup, it is Everton 1, Brentford 0.
Joe Shannon there alongside former Everton and Arsenal and of course Nottingham Forest striker Kevin Campbell. Kevin, we've seen 45 minutes of Frank Lampard's Everton so far. What are your first thoughts?
I'm very impressed, to be honest, because these really are the same players who were so poor previously. What I've seen there's an impetus in their play. I've seen there's an aggression and a will to try and play forward, which really does make a difference, and a will to run forward. So I think it's been a decent 45 minutes right now.
And obviously Brentford by no means out of this tie yet. It's only 1-0 at half-time. Do you feel that maybe if Christian Eriksen had been a bit more ready, he would have had a huge part to play today?
I definitely think so. I think Christian Eriksen has that quality, that proven quality that really could help this Brentford team. But Brentford are still a capable side. That's one thing I will say. And they've created chances and they will test Everton in the second half.
Absolutely. Do you think if someone's going to come off the bench for either side, if Brentford manage to get it back level, there's going to be one player that can make the difference here? Because, I mean, both teams have some well-known players on the bench, but also some unknowns, maybe.
Yeah, there are some unknowns. But, I like to look at the tried and tested sometimes. If somebody else, performs, comes on and does something special, then that's great. But I still can't look past Richarlison or Ivan Toney, who could play a real big part in this game.
And Frank Lampard looks certainly here quite lively on the touchline. How's he been received in the stadium? We've seen some pretty negative scenes at Goodison in the last few weeks and months. Are the fans largely happy and behind him?
Yeah, I think the majority, if not all, are behind the manager. I think a lot of the fans wanted Frank Lampard to come in and inject a different impetus into the football club. They're seeing the team, the same players, as I said, who weren't performing, putting in a really decent first half performance. So, the long may continue.
Excellent. The voice there of former Everton and Arsenal striker Kevin Campbell alongside our commentator this afternoon, Joe Shannon. We'll be back with those guys for the full second half. Half-time, Everton 1, Brentford 0 here on Talksport 2. Still lots of games coming up across the Talksport network. I'll tell you more about those as we do the classifieds next.
The totally immersive football experience.
Oh, what a goal!
FA Cup game day on Talksport 2. FA Cup live on Talksport 2 with Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Official partner of Talksport's FA Cup coverage. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
Hi, got 2 dozen roses for Sally.
Diamond necklace for Sally?
Me?
The boyfriend hasn't just nailed Sally's birthday.
And here's the matching earrings.
He's only gone and cinched it, just like he cinched his motor. There's thousands of quality check cars online, all with free home delivery, so you can be certain you've absolutely cinched it.
Where do you want these tropical lovebirds?
Buying a car? Don't just nail it, cinch it. Delivery to GB Mainland, Isle of Wight and Scottish Islands only. T's and C's apply.
Triple cheese with extra cheese coming up.
Hey, Sarah, your QuickBooks team here.
Huh?
Making tax digital is coming.
Says here you're worried about making a mistake.
But our error checker means you can submit VAT returns with confidence.
Oh, piece of cake.
So you can get back to turning cheese sandwiches into big cheddar.
Make tax digital with QuickBooks.
It could be a first-timer or a long-timer or a once-in-a-whiler. It could be a little or a lot. It could be the ticket under your fridge magnet. It could be someone with your first name and last and middle, or it could be you. Tonight's Lotto jackpot is £11 million and it must be won. Or thousands of you will win a share of the jackpot. Play on app, online and in-store. Lotto from the National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Estimated jackpot. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Grab a great deal at Screwfix this winter. Save £30 on the DeWalt brushless twin kit with 2 2-amp power batteries. Now only $169.99. And save £10 on the DeWalt Pro Light aluminium toe cap safety boots. Now just $59.99. Order through our app or at screwfix.com for click and collect. Or shop in store. Screwfix, here when you need us. While stocks last. Price is valid until at least 4 p.m. 6th of March. Visit screwfix.com for T's and C's, delivery charges and restrictions.
FA Cup live on Talksport 2 with Neutrogena T-Gel. Get your head in the game and show dandruff a red card with the on-target action of Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
Fisherman's Blues with Nigel Botherway tomorrow morning from 6 on Talksport 2.
Welly boots are a preference for the habitual voyeur of what is known as... it's a bit dicey.
Pond life.
A soggy bum can be avoided if you take a bivvy when you do what is known as...
Happy days indeed.
Pond life.
Got a flask of tea and a big pack of my favourite fish paste sandwiches. Oh, I love a bit of it.
Incredible.
Pond life.
Look at that brown trout biting. You should tighten up your slack line, mate. Use a better fly. Oh, the anglers.
I like this a lot.
So many anglers. They all go rod in hand through their pond life.
Got worms. Yes, but I'm still going fishing. Fisherman's Blues with me, Nigel Botherway, tomorrow morning from 6 on Talksport 2. Here comes the football.
Unbelievable!
FA Cup game day on Talksport 2. This is game day. Classified results.
Unbelievable!
FA Cup game day on Talksport 2. The Emirates FA Cup.
2 results so far in the FA Cup. Chelsea 2, Plymouth 1 after extra time. It was Kidderminster 1, West Ham 2, also after extra time at Agbra. Half times Crystal Palace 2, Hartlepool 0. Our game here on Talksport 2 this afternoon. Everton 1, Brentford 0. Huddersfield 1, Barnsley 0. Manchester City 2, Fulham 1. Fulham went 1-0 up there after 4 minutes. Peterborough 1, QPR 0. Southampton 0, Coventry 1. Stoke 1, Wigan 0. And Wolves 0, Norwich 1.
Sky Bet Championship.
In the Championship, 2 games at half-time. It's Blackpool 2, Bristol City 0, and it's goalless between Hull and Preston.
Sky Bet League 1.
It's Burton 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1 in League 1. The game between Cambridge United and Wickham was postponed. Charlton 2, AFC Wimbledon 2. It's goalless between Ipswich and Gillingham. It's 1-1 between MK Dons and Lincoln. Also goalless between Morecambe and Bolton. Oxford United 1, Portsmouth 1. Rotherham 0-0 with Accrington Stanley. Shrewsbury 0, Fleetwood 1. And Sunderland 0, Doncaster 2.
Sky Bet League 2.
It's Harrogate 2, Bradford City 0, still playing in that one. Half-time between Barrow and Tranmere. It's currently Barrow 0, Tranmere 1. Crawley 1, Stevenage 0, Forest Green 1, Newport 0, Leyton Orient 0, Colchester 1. Scunthorpe versus Oldham is goalless at half-time. It's Sutton 1, Bristol Rovers 0 in South London. Swindon versus Exeter goalless, and Walsall 0, Northampton 1.
The Scottish Premiership.
4 games at half-time in the Scottish Premiership. Dundee FC versus Ross County 1-1. Hibernian 0-0 with St Mirren. Livingston 1-0 up against Aberdeen, and it's goalless between St Johnstone and Dundee United. So it's a massive day of live sport, not just football, here on the TalkSport network. Later on from 8 p.m. on TalkSport, we've got Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams live from Cardiff. At the same time on TalkSport 2, we're also in South Wales for live... that's just before. Well, we'll have finished in South Wales at least for our commentary. Tottenham versus Brighton at 8. I'll run you through the rest of the games we've got coming up straight after this one in the FA Cup 4th round. We've got Swansea versus Blackburn in the Championship. That one is a 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Swansea doing terribly at the moment. They've won 2 games in the last 3 months, whereas Blackburn are second in the table, looking to make their way back to the Premier League, buoyed by the return of their in-form striker Ben Brereton Diaz. Over on TalkSport at the same time, it's our one exclusive Premier League commentary of the day. It's Burnley versus Watford. Ian Danter on commentary alongside former England winger Trevor Sinclair. And then here on TalkSport 2, as I mentioned, Tottenham versus Brighton in the FA Cup 4th round, the final of 4 FA Cup commentaries across the day here on the TalkSport network. We'll be back to Goodison, where it's 1-0 between Everton in Brentford in just a second. You're listening to TalkSport 2.
Saturday evening, live Premier League football. Burnley versus Watford. Coverage from 5:30. Kickoff 6 p.m. on TalkSport.
FA Cup live on Talksport 2 with Neutrogena T-Gel. Get your head in the game and show dandruff a red card with the on-target action of Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
It could be a first-timer or a long-timer or a once-in-a-whiler. It could be a little or a lot. It could be the ticket under your fridge magnet. It could be someone with your first name and last and middle, or it could be you. Tonight's Lotto jackpot is £11 million and it must be won. Or thousands of you will win a share of the jackpot. Play on app, online and in-store. Lotto from the National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Estimated jackpot. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
We're making loads of new price cuts on fruit and veg at Morrison's. Like broccoli, was 59p, now cut to 46p. Or how about a 4-pack of baking potatoes? Was 49p, now cut to 39p. Because good prices make good things happen. Morrison's. Majority of stores and online, subject to availability. Broccoli 350 grams, baking potatoes 4-pack.
This is the place for rugby fans. Walk in the footsteps of heroes. Pitchside on Twickenham Stadium tours. See the world's oldest international football jersey and trophy in the World Rugby Museum. And test your strength on a scrum machine inside our Play Rugby interactive zone. This is the World Rugby Museum and Twickenham Stadium tour. Book now at worldrugbymuseum.com.
It's the TalkTalk Winter Warmer Sale, with deals hotter than a steaming cup of cocoa. Like our super-fast, reliable fibre broadband, now from just £22 a month for 24 months, with average speeds from 38 to 145 megabits per second. And award-winning customer experience. Brilliant. Deals that make sense. Search TalkTalk Fibre. Offers end 16th Feb. TalkTalk, for everyone. CPI plus 3.7% annual increase from April 2022, subject to availability, £9.95 post and packing, T's and C's apply.
FA Cup live on Talksport 2 with Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Official partner of Talksport's FA Cup coverage. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
Well, good afternoon, I'm John Jackson, back for the second half of the tie between Everton versus Brentford in just a second. Of course, you can listen to all of the live sport across the TalkSport network on the free TalkSport mobile app. It's a free download from whichever app store you have on your device. And if you've not swiped left and right between TalkSport and TalkSport 2 today, you may not have heard how things ended in the game between Kidderminster and West Ham. It was, in fact, I'm not going to tell you the score. Just have a listen to this.
Hello from Agbra. Wherever you are in the world, let me bring you inside this small, neatly appointed arena in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Comes back and it's smashed in by Penny, and Kidderminster Harriers lead against West Ham United. Alex Penny with the goal. It's picked up now by Hemmings, who shoots from distance, and it was swirling in the air, and it went wide of the left-hand upright. Austin on the front foot, plays it into the box, it hit the arm of Craig Dawson. The referee shakes his head, and Kidderminster Harriers are denied a penalty. Bowen and Yarmolenko's got it back to Bowen inside the area. Left footed, drives the ball in towards the near post. It's saved by Simpson down low, and then a tackle by Preston stops the second effort from Bowen.
My gut instinct tells me there will be one chance. There will be one chance. There always is. So they're not over the line yet, Kidderminster.
Into the path of Rice, who skates into the box. He takes on one defender and smashes it into the top of the net. And Declan Rice rescues West Ham United in stoppage time away at Agbra. It's played into the box. Yarmolenko across the face of goal. It's smuggled in, but the offside flag is up. Yarmolenko sends it forward. It comes towards the inside of the box. It falls to Bowen, and Bowen taps it home. And again, in stoppage time, Kidderminster Harriers' hearts are broken, and they're broken by Jared Bowen. West Ham have won the tie, but Kidderminster Harriers have won the day. It's finished Kidderminster Harriers 1, West Ham 2.
A roller coaster of a game there live over on TalkSport. We're nearly ready for second half coverage of Everton versus Brentford. This is the round where Brentford struggle. They've lost 4 out of their last 5 fourth round ties. Let's find out if they can get back that goal, get level with Everton and make a game of it. Handing back to our commentary team of former Everton and Arsenal striker Kevin Campbell alongside your commentator Joe Shannon.
Thank you, John. Well, we've been doing a bit of Everton celebrity spotting at half-time, but I'm not just talking about the man next to me. we're looking at the director's box, which is right packed into the commentary position. It really is one of those old school grounds. Frank Lampard's wife Christine is here today for his first game in charge. Bill Kenwright there as well. Had a lot of stick, a lot of flack obviously in recent times. It was nice, I have to say, to see a couple of the young Everton fans near give him a smile and a wave back as well. And suddenly the mood around Everton feels, well, utterly different, doesn't it, after that first 45 minutes?
Yeah, 100%. I think the Evertonians, they've been patient, but their patience was wearing very thin. And they wanted action. That's what they wanted. They wanted action. They wanted the club to do something. There was a manager in who they didn't love. And you see the difference when Frank Lampard comes in, somebody they want to get behind. And it's infectious.
We've squeezed back into our seats. It is one of the best for atmosphere, this one, and it was certainly raucous at points in the first half, particularly when Yerry Mina headed Everton into that lead. 1-0 against Brentford in the fourth round of the FA Cup, and for the visitors, Kevin Campbell, some work to do, but some encouragement as well, I think, in the first half.
Yeah, loads of encouragement. I think Ivan Toney was really a handful at the top end of the pitch. Canos, he's a really good player, and they were pushing it come the end of the first half, so they just need to keep doing what they're doing, and hopefully they'll get a break.
The second half is underway on Talksport 2. Still those cloudy skies up ahead, getting ever darker, with the floodlights seeming brighter and brighter now. And it's Brentford playing from left to right in the second period towards the Sir Philip Carter Park end of the stadium. Brentford in red and white striped shirts, black shorts and black socks. Everton in the royal blue shirts, white shorts, white socks, playing from right to left towards the Gladys Street. As Brentford win a throw, far side of the field, right in front of the travelling supporters, but in fact the referee has signalled that his assistant was flagging, and in fact the throw has gone the opposite way. No changes at half-time for either side. Pickford, the Everton goalkeeper, three centre-halves, Keane, Mina and Holgate, with Coleman and Michaelenko the wing-backs, Alan and Andre Gomez in the middle, Gordon, Gray and Richarlison furthest forward. Brentford, Raya back in goal today, Ayer, Janssen and Beck Sørensen the defensive three. Røslerv and Henry are the Brentford wing-backs, with Norgard, Jensen and Janelt in the middle, Tony and Canos the two furthest forward. Again, Frank Lampard is positioned, glued to the edge of his technical area, as more and more Everton fans start to return to their seats around us. Thomas Frank in conversation with Brian Reamer, a long way below our commentary position, which is right in the middle of the main stand, smack on the halfway line. Header away by Ayer for Brentford, and then the ball hooked up into the air by Røslerv, thrown forward towards Tony. Keane with not one but two towering headers. Back in the side today, Michael Keane, having missed the defeat to Aston Villa in Duncan Ferguson's caretaker game in charge. That was the first game of the season in the Premier League that Michael Keane had missed, as Matthias Jensen just scoops the ball over the halfway line. Nobody in red and white anywhere near it. Everton have it back. They lead by a goal to nil, and here's Kevin Campbell.
Yeah, look, the way Brentford are approaching this, I think they really need to keep players at the top end of the pitch, because that ball that, you know, they got at the defence and they put it forward. Canos makes a run, but they need another player up there where it can stick, and that's what usually Ivan Toney's so good at, making that ball stick at the top end of the pitch.
Feast of football, feast of live sport across the network today. 5:30 here on Talksport 2. Swansea against Blackburn in the Championship. We'll get the team news in the not too distant future as Richarlison races clear on goal, and Richarlison has beaten the goalkeeper to it and thundered it into the net, and Everton lead by 2-0, and it just gets better and better and better for Frank Lampard. His first game in charge, Everton racing clear, racing into the fifth round of the FA Cup, just like Richarlison raced through, beat Raya to the ball, put it past him at the Gladys Street end, and it's now Everton 2, Brentford 0.
Richarlison's movement was excellent. He came towards the ball, and then as soon as Everton got possession, he spun, and then it was a race, and he fancies himself to outpace this huge Brentford defence. It was a race between him and the goalkeeper in the end, and he got there first, put it past Raya. Very, very good goal. Great finish, and 2-0 Everton.
Richarlison's 5th goal of the campaign as he edges closer to 50 in an Everton shirt, but it was much too easy, you feel, from a Brentford perspective. And another 2 goals conceded now for Thomas Frank as this losing run, and of course there is still a long way to go, but the signs are not good for them. They'd lost 4 on the spin coming into today, and heading for 5 defeats from 5 as Goodison Park, all around, everywhere we look, all 4 sides of this old-fashioned stadium, they start to find their collective voice again.
Very much so, I think, being 2-0 up. It's been a long time since Everton have been 2-0 up here. Been very difficult, obviously.
But here's Tony at the other end, getting beyond the defender, going down, sandwiched in between 2 blue shirts. Michael Oliver says no penalty.
I thought he was offside, actually, at the time. But Everton are on the break here. Poor control from Damari Gray. But that was Brentford doing what they do best, get the ball forward to Ivan Toney and break against any team. So, again, Everton have to be careful.
And it was an instant ball lofted through to Richarlison, almost out of nothing. And Everton's lead is doubled. Spurs against Brighton at 8 on Talksport 2. As Canos threads it into the middle for Tony. Right-hand edge of the penalty area. Gets beyond Yerry Mina. Cuts it back across goal. Nobody in red and white could get to it. Janelt will retrieve the loose ball on the far side, the left, but the immediate chance is gone after all of Tony's hard work. At first it looked like he might go for goal himself, and then he fizzed it across. Nobody could get the vital final touch. In the end, Michael Oliver, has he given a free kick here for Brentford on their left wing position? He has.
He has. I thought Yerry Mina actually made Ivan Toney's mind up. Ivan Toney was probably going to shoot, but because Yerry Mina committed himself to the tackle, he went around him and he pushed himself a little bit wide, fizzes it across the box, and Brentford couldn't get on the end of it. But they're still in with a shout. There's a free kick on Brentford's left-hand side, and Brentford have got some big guys in there.
They certainly do. Janssen and Ayer and Tony, well over 6 foot tall. Janssen and Ayer, right in front of the goalkeeper on the edge of the 6-yard box. Whipped in high by Janssen, a terrible free kick. Miles overhead, out of play for a goal kick. Everton 2, Brentford 0 on Talksport 2. 3-0 to Blackpool in the Championship against Bristol City, who are going to be 9 without a win away from home. High-flying MK Dons lead Lincoln 2-1 now in League One. They were a goal down. Shrewsbury have equalised at home to Fleetwood, 1 apiece. And that brings you right up to date on a busy day of football in the Premier League, the Championship, the FA Cup, in the Premier League later on Talksport. Burnley against Watford is live, a 6 o'clock kickoff for Roy Hodgson's first game in charge of Watford. And in the Six Nations, Ireland have beaten Wales 29 points to 7. That was a risky back header from Beck Sørensen through to the goalkeeper David Raya, but it just had enough on it. Raya was slow off his line for that second Everton goal, but here come Brentford. Roerslev with a right wing cross, high to the far post, over the head of Henry. Janelt will get to the loose ball, a couple of yards from the corner of the penalty area, faced up by a sea of blue shirts. So he has to go back to Norgard. Norgard, pinpoint pass, turning around the goalkeeper, surely fouled by Pickford, penalty given. Pickford raced out to dive at the feet of Tony, brought him down. It's an easy decision for Michael Oliver. Penalty for Brentford, a route back into the game, perhaps for the visitors. And what punishment, I wonder, for Jordan Pickford here.
I think Brentford are playing with a lot more purpose. Now that they're two behind, they're playing like Brentford of old. Now they're starting to push the ball through the midfield, and they're starting to ask a few more questions. And that was a really good break by Tony, and he did get caught by Pickford. I'm not sure, is there VAR today? Or,
there is.
I'm not sure.
We can see it on the monitors in front of our commentary position. Tony gets the first touch.
That's a penalty, I think. Yeah, that's
Pickford
a penalty.
brings it down.
That's a penalty. Yeah.
You'd have wanted a spot kick for that, wouldn't you? Bursting through it.
Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah, I would have wanted a spot kick. And Ivan Toney's usually the penalty taker, isn't he? So,
and it is he who holds on to the ball and will take the spot kick in just a few moments. Talking penalty kicks, Manchester City now lead Fulham 3-1 in the FA Cup. Riyad Mahrez from the spot. And Brentford here with 53.5 minutes played, perhaps with a chance to get themselves back in the tie. Ivan Toney has scored all 13 of the previous penalties that he's taken for Brentford. He has a perfect record from the spot. And now up against Pickford at the Park End, the Everton fans behind the goal waving their arms, trying to put off Ivan Toney. It'll be a relatively short run-up, a slow run-up, right-footed, and he scores. Ivan Toney, perfect from the spot again, sending Pickford the wrong way. His 8th goal of the season, and Brentford are back in the cup tie. Everton 2, Brentford 1.
Good penalty, really good penalty, and he's got a certain way how he takes the penalties. He's very laid back, but he sticks it away, and now we've got a cup tie on our hands, Joel.
Oh, we certainly do. And not for the first time today, that's for sure. Remember earlier, Chelsea needing extra time to see off Plymouth, and West Ham needing extra time, and 2 very late goals, one at the end of normal time, one at the end of extra time, to beat Kidderminster of the National League North. The game between Crystal Palace and Hartlepool, I have to tell you, Palace lead by 2-0. I'm afraid that game has been paused due to a medical incident in the Hartlepool end. We can't tell you anything else further at this point, but we hope obviously that that is resolved as soon as possible, whatever the nature, the exact nature of that incident is. So Everton failed to keep a clean sheet again. Still no clean sheet since November the 7th, and Frank Lampard has seen his side concede for the first time. Michalenko's headed towards Richarlison back to goal, midway inside opposition territory. Back out wide to Michalenko, who continued his run, wins a throw off Jensen a few yards from the corner flag near side the left.
I think Richarlison is doing a really good job up top for Everton. He's occupying the 3 centre halves of Brentford, and that's very difficult to do. Holding the ball up, doing well, and getting Michalenko and Seamus Coleman up the pitch to support.
Christopher Ayer will take the throw. Near side of the field, Ayer, the right of the 3 central defenders. Brentford, who have been beaten at the FA Cup 4th round stage in each of the last 2 seasons. They've failed to win 4 of their last 5 ties at this point in the competition. Of course, the Premier League is understandably the priority for Thomas Frank, but it's a heavy touch from Raya, the goalkeeper. Gordon was really quick to close him down. Raya back in the team today, having not played since October. In the end, the throw has gone Brentford's way, but he has had a couple of nervy moments, the goalkeeper.
He definitely has. He's just come back as well, and maybe trying to get the pace of the game. And Everton have put him under pressure, which is the right thing to do. So well done, Everton.
Another throw to Brentford. Near side of the field, rain coming down again at Goodison Park. It's being whipped up by the swirling wind. Frank Lampard just clapping his hands together, trying to keep his Everton players on their toes. And now Janelt getting in between 2 blue shirts and cleverly manoeuvring himself over the halfway line. Norgard has to roll it back to the goalkeeper, David Raya, the Spaniard, all in pink. And now Beck Sørensen with the long hair, the left-sided centre-half, finds Norgard, who hits it over the halfway line. Nearly spun away from Mina, but he controlled it so it wouldn't go through to Canos. Alain, the defensive midfielder, deep-lying midfielder, out towards Coleman on the far side, the Everton right, just 10 yards into the Brentford half. Gordon from the centre circle into a central position, looks for the return ball from Gray. Gordon chests it down, touches heavy, comes back to Gray, nudges it wide with his head to Gordon. Everton are building here. Gray looking to meander towards goal. He's juggled it away from 2 in red and white. There's a Brentford player down. It's Jensen. The referee is going to allow the game to continue. Michalenko right by the corner flag. Jensen still down, lying on the turf. Still play goes on. Everton 2, Brentford 1. Gray rolls the ball towards Alain inside the penalty area. Last touch off a Brentford player. Corner to Everton. And Ivan Toney having words with the referee. I think he's saying he believes this is a head injury.
I think it was his back. I'm not sure if it's a head injury. I think it was he got caught in the back just by Demarai Gray's sheer tenacity, to be honest with you. But Everton shouldn't stop. You shouldn't stop unless it's a head injury. And I'm sure if the referee thought it was a head injury, he would have stopped it.
Brian Riemer not happy, the Brentford assistant, with what's going on, having words with Frank Lampard. Jensen back up on his feet. Brentford are going to bring everybody back to defend this Everton corner, which is right in front of the Gladys Street end. Two-tiered, home fans on their feet, looking to suck the ball into the net and expecting another goal. 2-1 to Everton on Talksport 2. Gray's right-footed in-swinging delivery. Raya plucked it out of the air. It was an easy take for the goalkeeper. Brentford are going to bring on Shandon Baptiste, it looks like, very shortly. Norgard from the halfway line fires the ball downfield. Sliding in to intercept was Holgate, but it's come back to Canos on the near side, the right. Janelt has made the run towards the near post. The cross is deflected behind. It's a corner to Brentford this time. It's suddenly end-to-end Kevin Campbell, and with an hour gone, you get the sense there's a lot more to come.
Yeah, we really have a cup tie in our hands. And do you know what? Brentford are really playing well now. Anytime they get the ball, they're really playing between the lines and getting through Everton very quickly. And, you know, there's another corner for Brentford now, and this is another place where they're dangerous, very dangerous.
Matthias Jensen will take the corner. Jensen with the blue boots on, in between the park end and the near side, the main stand. Everton have got everybody back to defend this corner. These are nervy moments for the Everton fans. Drilled in by Jensen, headed away by Holgate. Comes back to Canos. Canos scoops the ball deep into the area. Tony making a late run. He went for it. He might get to it. Pickford very nearly dropped the loose ball, almost in a tangle of legs with Yerry Mina, his own defender. Tony went down, stayed down. Don't think he was looking for a penalty, but Everton were all over the place.
Ivan Toney gambled, didn't he? He really gambled on that one, and nearly got his reward. Everton really need to wake up. They need to wake up at the back, because Brentford are really pushing.
Jansen's back pass to Raya, who calmly controls the goalkeeper. Both sides look nervy defensively, and Gordon has won it back deep inside opposition territory, into the area, pulls it back to Gray. The effort is deflected behind. It was Beck Sorensen's error for Brentford. He was very nearly punished. 2-1 to Everton. The atmosphere really frenetic here, and the pace of the game has picked up once again.
Great aggression by Gordon. Shut the ball down, won the tackle, got up, cut a ball back, and Everton, the shot was deflected over corner. Everton, and Yerry Mina is probably looking for his second.
And Everton looking for their third over the course of the game. Damari Gray will take it. Gladys Street end. It'll be a right-footed, out-swinging delivery. Floated high towards Mina again. Oh, and it's deflected in! It's Mason Holgate, and it's 3-1 to Everton, and it's another of the centre-halves who's got the goal, and it's more delight for Frank Lampard at the start of a new era at Goodison Park. It took 2 touches on its way through, and the last was off Mason Holgate, his first goal since December 2020, and Everton lead this seesaw FA Cup tie by 3-1.
Joe, I could tell you this, Thomas Frank will not be happy, because he's got 3 big centre-halves. He's got Ivan Toney back in there, and Everton are winning the first ball and the second ball and the third to stick it in the net. He's not going to be happy at all. Great goal by Everton, but really poor from Brentford, and the sub's just been made.
And I wonder, Kevin, whether he might have wanted to make that a little earlier than he did, Thomas Frank, because Shandon Baptiste was ready to go for a while. In the end, he has replaced Vitaly Janelt. Well, what a second half so far. We've had 3 goals, 62 minutes on the clock, 3-1 to Everton in the swirling wind and rain. And you get the response from the Everton supporters again as Richarlison looks to close down the goalkeeper, and Everton are hungry for more, urged on by these fanatical supporters. And you know what it's like, Kevin Campbell, to be out there on the field as the number 9 when it's going swimmingly like this.
Oh yeah, the place is rocking right now. Everton have seen 3 goals scored against Premier League opposition, and they're looking good. But what we do know is Brentford do carry a threat, so they've got to be very, very smart in how they defend.
Southampton have an equaliser against Coventry of the Championship in the FA Cup. It's 1-1. Stuart Armstrong has got it, and Manchester City surely through against Fulham. They lead 4-1. It's another for Riyad Mahrez. Forest Green 2, Newport 0. is a latest score in the big game in League Two. Hibs 0, St Mirren 1 in the Scottish Premiership. Charlton lead Wimbledon 3-2 at the Valley in League One. Stoke 2, Wigan 0 in the FA Cup, a latest score. Livingston 2, Aberdeen 1 in the Scottish Premiership. And you are up to date. This is what it's all about. Talksport 2 in the FA Cup, there's nothing like it. Gray, lip of the centre circle for Everton in a central position. More live football to come, with Swansea against Blackburn at 5:30. Team news there shortly. Here is Holgate finding Andre Gomez just over the halfway line. So it's Everton 3, Brentford 1. As part of our live coverage of the FA Cup on Talksport 2, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Gordon with a marauding run from right to left, up to the corner of the penalty area. Wait on the pass, is good for Michaelenko, who cut it back across goal. Richarlison went near post, steered behind by Janssen. The defender is just calling for a bit of calm in that Brentford back line, Kevin Campbell, but Everton are coming again and again.
They are calling for calm, but you know what? Everton are playing with an economy in their game, but they are playing between the lines, and as soon as they get between the lines, they're being very direct. Gordon and Gray are causing Brentford all sorts of problems, and obviously Richarlison up top is occupying the three centre halves.
Plenty forward in the blue for Everton, occupying that penalty area in front of the home supporters at the home end, the Howard Kendall Gladys Street end, in by Gray. Poor delivery, headed away by the first man, Norgard. I was relying on Kevin there because they've got the pillar, which is kind of on the penalty spot. So you look right, now look left, and
we'll work it out
between the two of us.
Joe, we'll work it out for sure.
Well, they have scored from 2 set pieces today.
Yes.
Everton, Mina and Holgate, and Richarlison in between the two, and Tony had got Brentford back into it, but now Brentford are 3-1 down. Tony on the halfway line. Gloves on, control, sandwich in between two blue shirts. Good aggression from Everton. Andre Gomez, having won it back, was tripped and wins a free kick.
I like the way Ivan Toney puts himself about. He's a old school striker, and you know, it's his first time in the Premier League, and he's doing really well. And I just think he's been a breath of fresh air. I think this Brentford club have been a breath of fresh air, Joe.
They absolutely have. They've had an outstanding season so far. First ever campaign in the Premier League, first season in the top flight for nearly 3/4 of a century. But they are struggling of late, and they are struggling today. Richarlison gets the dead ball line for Everton, who are going to be nowhere near the relegation scrap on this evidence. Richarlison cuts it back to Andre Gomez, angles tight, bursted into the area, blocked off by Ayer, and Brentford squeeze it away through Canos, cleverly to find Jensen. Jensen held back by Gordon, pulled back. That will be a yellow card for the youngster, but one of those where maybe it was worth taking a booking.
That was a good one to give. That really was a good one for Gordon to give. Brentford were on a real break there, and just a little tug on the shirt and take the yellow card and get his defenders back.
Fight Night Live on Talksport from 8 o'clock this evening. Chris Eubank Jr. against Liam Williams from Cardiff. Don't forget, on the 19th of February, we'll bring you exclusive coverage over on Talksport of Amir Khan against Kell Brook. That's live from the Manchester Arena. And on Monday, on Talksport Breakfast from 6, they've got a really heavyweight lineup. Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul and Katie Taylor live in the studio. Talksport Breakfast from Monday at 6. Of course, all the thrills and spills and laughs with Ali, Laura and Jamie O'Hara, Alan Brazil later in the week, of course. You're always guaranteed plenty of fun and some terrific sporting guests. Here is Janssen on the halfway line. Thunders the ball up the middle. Canos that was the kind of ball that you might have quite liked fizz towards you, Kevin Campbell, but Canos was never really liked his control there.
Yeah, he's not that type of striker. He kind of looked in disbelief, didn't he? Looked back in disbelief to say, what do you want me to do with that? That was he couldn't do anything with that. It was a difficult ball.
Canos has got his socks rolled down his shins like Jack Grealish. 22 minutes to go, 3-1 to Everton, and they unveiled Donny van der Beek and Dele Alli at half-time. Did Everton to the home supporters. Mina clips the free kick long down the right-hand channel. Richarlison chests it down on that far side. It's cleared away by Rico Henry. Alan first to the loose ball, retrieving it terrier-like, Alan. Andre Gomez, square pass to Holgate, who is in the centre circle. A rare goal today for Mason Holgate, in fact just his third for Everton, as Alan sees it safely back to Jordan Pickford. The game is not done yet, you feel. Brentford will still believe that the cup tie is still alive, but they need to score pretty quickly.
Yeah, they need a goal. If they get a goal, then obviously the nerves, Everton's form of late, all of that tends to come into it. But you know, the way Richarlison and Gray and Gordon are performing at the top end of the pitch, I think if Everton could keep getting that ball in between the lines, I think there's another goal for Everton.
Here is Ayer, just shy of the halfway line for Brentford. Angles the pass to the right, and Jensen, who's smack on the halfway line, right in between the Brentford head coach Thomas Frank and Everton boss Frank Lampard, who again is in conversation with his assistant Joe Edwards, newly arrived from Chelsea. New look backroom team, although Duncan Ferguson and Alan Kelly, the goalkeeping coach, are still there for a bit of continuity, and you know Duncan Ferguson, Kevin, in the role that he will still have to play at the club.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, I think it was really good management for Frank Lampard to keep Big Dunk on the staff. I think that's a real good connection with the fan base and a legend of the club, and I think Dunk still has a real big part to play in all of this.
Norgard down the right-hand side towards Tony, crossing the dead ball line, took a big deflection, and it sort of fizzed along the ground into the gloves of Pickford, who then rushed to the edge of the area. Looked like he wanted to launch a quick breakaway, but it's not going to happen right now. He's going to bowl it out to Yerry Mina, and Everton are going to make a couple of changes. John Joe Kenny and Andros Townsend getting some final instructions, I think, from Paul Clements, it looks like, down below, many rows below where we're sat at the moment. Keane out to Andre Gomez, right back position almost here, Andre Gomez, and there's much more confidence about Everton now, really not fault-free, but a long way away from the tail end of the Rafa Benitez era.
Looking a lot more confident, aren't they? That's for sure. I think Gomez being on the ball in that midfield, Allen, I think, has been outstanding as well, and yeah, they seem to have more of a progressive mindset of what they're doing from the back. Keane's giving it into tight spaces into Gomez and Allen, and they're actually making it work for them. So well done.
And less than 20 minutes to go now, and Brentford are going to bring on Saman Ghoddos and Josh Da Silva, who is going to make his first appearance in nearly a year. He was injured ever since last February, Josh Da Silva, and it's been a real disappointment for Brentford, but a massive boost that they can get him back at this stage of the season too. He was at your old club, Arsenal, yes. Kevin, and he's a very talented player. Mads Roerslev is the first to leave the field.
Yeah, look, they have to make the change. They're 3-1 down, and they're bringing on players who are offensive, which is going to obviously ask more of a question for Everton. But again, Everton are going to make changes too. Townsend and Kenny coming on, and to probably combat those substitutions as well.
Nice to see a big cheer and a standing ovation from the Brentford fans for Josh Da Silva. Ghoddos also comes on. Canos and Roerslev go off, and Vitaly Mykolenko is going to leave the field for Everton, gets a standing ovation on his home debut. John Joe Kenny on in his place.
Maybe just run out of a little bit of steam, Mykolenko. Really good player, good left foot, and seemed to be playing a lot better further forward.
And look at the reaction too, Kevin, for Anthony Gordon. Local boy, local hero, at the club since the age of 11, knows what it means to put on that blue Everton shirt, and Frank Lampard put his hands above his head to clap Anthony Gordon. Now he's going to give him a big hug as Andros Townsend comes on.
Gordon was excellent, he really was. I think him and Gray were shining lights, especially in the start of the second half, and key to this Everton performance. So it's going to be interesting how Andros Townsend performs as well, because he's been a revelation since he came to the club as well.
Well, Anthony Gordon is a real new hope for Everton on the scene this season. 3-1 they lead at a rainy Goodison. Here is Gray looking to dart forward, plays it left towards Kenny, who's just come on. Kenny wearing the sky blue boots like half the Everton team. Andre Gomez might size one up from 25 yards. He was urged to shoot, cuts back onto his left, almost apologises to the home crowd. Now Gray, edge of the penalty area, tries to whip it across, goes back out to the left, and Kenny, who feeds Andre Gomez. Brentford have almost everybody back behind the ball. Peterborough lead QPR 2-0 in the FA Cup. Ricky J. Jones has got that goal. There's a backheader from Beck Sørensen, is straight to Richarlison, edge of the area, onto his left foot, sets up Townsend with his first touch. It takes a deflection, and Raya sprawls to his left and prevents it from going behind for a corner.
You don't want Andros Townsend having a free hit just outside your box. We know he's got fire in his boots, and that just got charged down a little bit by the Brentford defence, which they've done very well doing. But you know, they can't allow Everton this space and time around their box.
It's a really risky manoeuvre from Mads Beck Sørensen, who hasn't looked convincing the Dane. 15 minutes left, plus stoppage time in the fourth round of the FA Cup on Talksport 2. Everton 3, Brentford 1. Remember, Swansea against Blackburn in the Championship is our 5:30 commentary. Then at 8, Tottenham take on Brighton in the FA Cup. And more live football to come tomorrow too. Liverpool-Cardiff on Talksport in the fourth round. 12:30 Talksport 2. Chelsea-Man City in the WSL. Here is Richarlison, midway inside opposition territory. Brought it down beautifully, onto his right foot, went for it. Blocked by Norgard. That would have been some goal from Richarlison, who's a man playing with great confidence at the moment all of a sudden. Andre Gomez threading it down the right towards Coleman. Townsend will try and reach it and try and keep it in play. It has gone out for a goal kick, and well, you can see it on the field at the moment, Kevin Campbell, that even in the Everton players who've just come on, there appears to be an urgency to impress the new manager.
There's an urgency and a hunger. There's a desire to chase the ball, to press. I think that's really important, and you're seeing it not just on the first 11, but every player that's come on. I think Mina, he's come on and he's done well, and we've seen Townsend and Kenny do the same. So this is a new era, a new regime.
On by Aya, gets it back from De Silva, number 10, and now Norgard with a lovely diagonal ball right to left all the way to that far side, and Henry, who's level with the edge of the 6-yard box, pulls it back towards Jensen, who dinks in the delivery. Tony climbing, headed away, comes back to De Silva, edge of the area, onto his right foot, faced up by Plenty in blue. Great feet from De Silva. Aya now will pull it back, and it's blocked by Holgate, and it's behind for a corner.
Still carry a threat, Brentford. They really do carry a threat. We know the time's pushing on. Now we're past 75, 76 minutes. But Brentford still do carry a threat. They've got some good players on right now.
Oxford 1, Portsmouth 2, a latest score in League One. An important goal for Kieran McKenna's Ipswich, who leads struggling Gillingham by a goal to nil. Matthias Jensen will take the corner for Brentford. It's in between the main stand and the park end as we look at it. Floated in by Jensen, high right-footed. Janssen was climbing far post. It's hammered away by Gray, I think, who got there before Allan to clear. No Everton outlet on the halfway line, so Baptiste will just step in, roll it back to the goalkeeper, and Brentford 3-1 down can begin again. Long out towards the left from Raya, headed away by Yerry Mina, into touch for a throw.
Brentford are going to have to ask a few more questions. Going to have to play maybe a little bit more direct to Tony, and that probably will suit Mina. So we're going to see who wins that battle.
Well, you're absolutely right, because they're going to take a long throw here, and I can see that both centre-halves have gone near post, almost like a corner kick routine. Aya and Janssen, and it's Beck Sørensen, the other centre-half, who's going to take the throw. There is a lot of height in this Brentford team. It's long towards the near post and Janssen, but it wasn't a great throw. Headed away by Keane. It's come back to Beck Sørensen, gets it out of his feet, heads for the corner flag, and then the cross is dreadful. Sliced into the park end.
That's poor. That's poor. I mean, the overthrew the throw in, and then the cross, which really was a routine cross, went into the park end. So he's got to do better. He's better than that.
I spoke about the live football that we've got for you tomorrow. The one I didn't mention, 4 o'clock on Talksport, Nottingham Forest against Leicester City, another intriguingly poised FA Cup 4th round tie. We so nearly had 2 great shocks earlier on the network, but Kidderminster and Plymouth both beaten by West Ham and Chelsea respectively after extra time. Forward by Ayer, high angle down the left, it's too long, and a few frustrated faces in the Brentford end on the, I say the Brentford end, the Brentford side of the ground if you like, or at least the middle of that side, on the opposite side of the field.
Not going to be happy. They've supported this club up and down the country, and they know they're better than this. Brentford are definitely better than this, and just a lack of quality in key times hasn't been great for Brentford today.
And they're not out of the relegation scrap just yet either, Brentford. They have a tough trip to Manchester City to come next Wednesday before a home game against Crystal Palace on Saturday. Forward by Tony, threaded down the right-hand side. He will always be a threat, and you get the sense he will, whatever happens, he will be a Premier League player next season.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he's been, like I said, he's been a revelation for Brentford. And looking the way he plays, he's kind of like an old-school player. He's an old-school striker, and there ain't many of them around.
That's the voice of the former Everton, Arsenal striker Kevin Campbell on Talksport 2 today, alongside myself, Joe Shannon. Holgate sees it back to Pickford, and suddenly the pace of the game has slowed and the atmosphere has dulled a little bit. 10 minutes of normal time to go as Coleman collects right back position for Everton. If Brentford were to dramatically come back here from 3-1 down, then we would have extra time and potentially penalties, because there are no replays this year in the 3rd or 4th round of the Cup. Beck Sørensen is going to come forward and take another throw for Brentford again. Deep inside opposition territory. Far side there left, and once more, Janssen and Ayer lurk in front of the goalkeeper. Beck Sørensen goes short to Jensen, who's closed down by Townsend. Didn't have space to whip in the cross. Oh, but he gets away from the 2 in blue easily in the end. Jensen whips in a dangerous delivery, punched away by the goalkeeper. Comes out to Baptiste on the edge of the box. Demarai Gray hooks it clear. Frank Lampard urges his Everton side to push forward.
Defended very well by Everton. That was some good play on the left-hand side for Brentford, and dangerous ball in the box, well defended.
Header by Kenny, a backheader cushion to his goalkeeper, cleverly watched by John Joe Kenny, and there is some competition now for Everton in the full-back positions, because, of course, as well as Michaelenko, who had an impressive game today, they have the new signing from Rangers, a young Nathan Patterson, who is actually among the subs today and still yet to make his debut. Townsend tried to nudge it forward, dink it through towards Richarlison, headed away by Beck Sørensen, who almost got the wrong side of the Brazilian there, just about manages to hook it out of play for an Everton throw.
That was just a perfect snapshot of how Richarlison uses his body and occupies centre-halves. Twice, 2 movements. One, he gets his shoulder inside the centre-half, and the second, he goes for the ball over the top. Didn't quite get there, but the defender could only put it out for an Everton throw.
Dundee 1, Ross County 2 in the Scottish Premiership. Sheffield Wednesday lead at Burton now by 2-0 in League 1. Crawley 2, Stevenage 1 is the latest score. As Everton have possession on the halfway line, it's almost given away by Holgate. A clearance that cannons off his own man, could fall for Tony. Mina with a good bit of covering to get across and send it back to the goalkeeper, and he feels he was caught late by Tony. Michael Oliver has stopped the game. Let me run you through the latest scores in the FA Cup. Huddersfield 1, Barnsley 0, Manchester City 4, Fulham 1, Peterborough lead Queen's Park Rangers by 2-0. Peterborough United. Southampton 1, Coventry 1 is a latest score. Stoke 2, Wigan 0, Wolves 0, Norwich 1, and Crystal Palace 2, Hartlepool 0. Another change for Brentford. Rico Henry goes off, and it's the youngster, the Welshman, Finn Stevens, still just 18 years of age, another product of the Arsenal Academy, who's going to take to the field. And Yerry Mina just going through a few stretches, still not quite up to his feet just yet. And we've actually just spotted, I didn't see him, he's been sitting right next to us the entire game,
Don't
Kevin
worry,
Campbell.
that was my that was going to be my
good work.
Yeah, the resistance at the end.
Ashley Cole is sitting in the row in front of us, of course, appointed just this week by Frank Lampard as a first team coach. He's got his snood on, hasn't he, Kevin? But he knew you were here.
Yeah,
he knew you were here.
He knew we were here, Joe. Come on.
Well, it's fascinating, this new Everton team. We saw Ashley Cole working with the defenders in the warm-up, and he's watching from the stands right in front of the Talksport 2 commentary position. 6 to go. Everton 3, Brentford 1 in the 5th round. Credit to Brentford here, Kevin Campbell, because they haven't given up at all just yet. But what would be your worry if you were Thomas Frank going into that sort of last second half to last third of the Premier League season? Because defensively they do look vulnerable to me.
Right, there was 2 questions there. One thing, that they will never give up, this Brentford side. That's one thing they won't do. Second is, when you end up losing games, what you have to do, you've got to end up being tough to beat. You have to end up... Everton have scored some goals today, which you don't... With the size of their defenders, you're not supposed to concede goals from corners. So I'm sure that's going to be driving him crazy. And I'm sure that's something that they would have to work on to eliminate from their game.
A couple of goals in League 2, the battle of the bottom 2, Scunthorpe 0, Oldham 1. Scunthorpe and Oldham, who started the day level on points, and it's Oldham who lead late on. Swindon 1, Exeter 1 is the latest score elsewhere in that division, and Bristol City have won back at Blackpool, but they still trail by 3 goals to 1, Nigel Pearson's side in the Championship. Rotherham 0, Accrington 0 is the latest score, but Rotherham have had Richard Wood sent off, the league leaders, as Andre Gomez steers the ball downfield. Townsend with an attempt at a little flick towards Coleman. Coleman applauds that idea, takes a touch off Godos, who's playing at left wing back for Brentford, and it's out of play. Everton throw halfway line, far side there right, and the rain has really picked up here. It's really swirling in the wind.
It really is swirling, and this is proper Goodison Park weather, Joe. It really is. You know, what they say about the Southerners coming up here, you've got to deal with the elements, and this is really going to test Brentford right now.
Absolutely. Kevin Campbell has played here before many times, as De Silva looked to knock it through towards Finn Stevens, who was making a run from right wing back, but there's too much on it. Jordan Pickford is out to collect, and the fizz has maybe gone out of the game. Frank Lampard will quickly turn his attention to the trip to St James's Park on Tuesday, a big game for Everton at Newcastle, then Leeds at home in the Premier League. Double change on the way for Everton shortly. I can see Cenk Tosun, and I think Alex Iwobi is also stripped and ready to come on in Everton blue.
Yeah, I'm sure Frank Lampard's going to want to get to see all the players that he can today, because it's this might be the only chances he really gets to see them before the Premier League really starts. So resumes, should I say.
Richarlison coming off, and another standing ovation as Cenk Tosun gets ready to come on.
Richarlison's been outstanding. He really has. He's occupied those 3 centre-halves at the top end of the pitch immensely. As a striker, as part of the Strikers Union, I appreciate that performance. I really do.
Alex Iwobi on in place of Damari Gray and Kevin Campbell. You know that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is obviously going to be the first choice. It depends on how Everton set up under Lampard. I wonder whether they'll keep the 3 at the back, or when Van der Beek and Ali are available, whether they go to 4-3-3. But Richarlison is, I mean, he will have been in the manager's thinking anyway, I know, but has he played himself even further into that thinking today, maybe?
I think so. I definitely think so. I honestly believe Frank Lampard would love to play 4-3-3. That's for sure.
Here is Iwobi with his first touch, spraying it wide to the right-hand side, and Townsend, who cuts infield onto his favoured left foot, in swinging cross, headed away by Ayer, and then hooked further into the ever-darkening sky by Jensen. Back in, lofted high by Holgate, easy for Raya. 3-1 to Everton against Brentford, and we have just over 90 seconds of normal time to go. There is one FA Cup tie in the fourth round of the 3 o'clock kickoff that's heading for extra time. Southampton 1, Coventry 1, a latest score. I'll give you any further goals as they go in. Palace lead Hartlepool, Huddersfield lead Barnsley, Man City lead Fulham, Peterborough lead QPR, Stoke lead Wigan, Norwich lead at Wolves. Josh Da Silva looking to maraud down the right-hand side for Brentford. He cuts infield, he almost pushes it on to Ivan Toney. Looked really bright since coming on, Josh Da Silva, particularly given that it's his first game in nearly a year. And Brentford, though, are risking leaving gaps at the back as we enter the final minute of normal time. Yerry Mina under some pressure from Baptiste. Mina having to twist away from 2 in red and white, and Everton get away with it. Andre Gomez bursting forward and looking to set Toshan away. Toshan on the halfway line, back to Seamus Coleman, and there is a confidence about Everton here.
Yeah, there's a confidence running through the team right now, and taking the ball in tight areas, manipulating the ball and getting out of the tight spots. So, you know, nearly got caught up, nearly given away, but here we go, another attack.
Iwobi racing from the halfway line. He's got Townsend to his right. Townsend into the penalty area. Couple of step overs. Can he pull it back here, Townsend? He's forced away from goal. Townsend all left foot. Back to Andre Gomez, who waited for the run of Coleman. Townsend now for Andre Gomez and Alan. Midway inside Brentford territory. 4 added minutes at the end of the game on Talksport 2. Remember, we've got commentary of Swansea against Blackburn in the Championship to come once we're done here on Talksport 2. Live coverage of the FA Cup thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Opportunity for Tosson deep inside the Brentford half, cuts it back towards Iwobi, corner of the penalty area, and he lays it off for Townsend to hit it, and Townsend has fired it in, and it is a perfect first game in charge for Frank Lampard at Everton. The club's motto, nothing but the best is good enough. This is as good a start as he surely could have asked for. Townsend lashing home, left-footed from the edge of the penalty area, and a sense of real positivity and optimism at Goodison Park. Everton are back. Everton 4, Brentford 1.
What a strike, Joe. What a strike from the edge of the box. We said it before, you cannot let Andros Townsend cut in on his left-hand side and shoot. And when you give him another chance, it ends up in the back of the net. So really, really top goal. And obviously 4-1 now. And let's be honest, this is a well-beaten Brentford now. Everton have performed on the day and blown Brentford out now.
And that is the cue for quite a few at Goodison to head for the exits. 4-1 to Everton in the second minute of stoppage time, and the job is done for Frank Lampard. And you couldn't really have asked for more from this, as you know, as an ex-Everton player, and of course your allegiance is to the club, Kevin Campbell. It doesn't get much better than this for a first game, does it?
No, it doesn't get much better than this. I know this was going to be a really difficult game, and it was. It started off a really difficult game against a really good Brentford side, but you know, Everton have performed today. We don't really get to see them perform like this many times this season, but when they do perform, you know, this is what they can do. And it's obviously there's been good information from the manager to help them be positive, and they have been positive today, so well done.
Chance of super Frankie Lampard from the Gladys Street end, acknowledged by the manager, and in the end Everton have been the better team. And stoppage time now, starting to run further away from this beaten Brentford side. Just over a minute to go. Jensen Square to Baptiste, midway inside Everton territory. Godos out on the right, another 4 goals conceded for Brentford. In swinging delivery from Godos up towards Stevens. Kenny got to it first, and Pickford will keep it in and prevent the corner. But for Brentford now, 5 defeats in a row it will be, conceding 16 goals in the process. That would be enough to worry any head coach. And of course, Manchester City next.
Yeah, well, it's when it rains, it pours, doesn't it? That's the problem. That's the problem. And in the Premier League, when you play in the Premier League, every mistake is going to get punished mostly. So, you know, their first season up, they've done really well. I think they've been a breath of fresh air. But now is the key where they've got to really cement.
Toshan turned it cleverly round the gap towards Iwobi, and then just as Iwobi looked to burst away, his touch was heavy. Brentford will get it back, and
look
the
at the closing.
Raya
Look at the
under pressure.
Brilliant closing.
That is what you call high pressing, as you say, Kevin Campbell. And it has been relentless from Everton. Michael Oliver has had a look at his watch, and the full-time whistle goes. And for Everton, is this a sign of things to come? They have started life under Frank Lampard with a thoroughly convincing FA Cup victory here over Brentford, and the Goodison roar is back. The optimism is back. And if you know your history, you feel that there's a lot more potential to be achieved here at Everton that hasn't been realised, certainly not so far this season. But under Frank Lampard, maybe, just maybe, something special could be possible. Everton, who haven't won a major trophy since 1995, that was the FA Cup, and they are through to the 5th round after this victory in Frank Lampard's first game in charge. The crowd were singing his name by the end. He applauds the Everton supporters. Mina, Richarlison, Holgate and Townsend with the goals. Tony pulled one back for Brentford when it was 2-0, but it is 5 defeats in a row for Thomas Frank's side, and near enough a perfect start for the new man in the Goodison Park hot seat. Frank Lampard's Everton have beaten Brentford by 4-1.
Your commentary team there of Joe Shannon and the former Everton and Arsenal striker Kevin Campbell. Exactly what Everton needed. And Kevin, it's exactly what Frank Lampard needed going into that job at a club that are a massive club but have had so many troubles recently.
Yeah, I think this is what everybody needed, not only the manager, but obviously the Evertonians. A rapturous win, a rapturous welcome, and a performance that, you know, really gave them some impetus to support the club again. You know, that feeling, they wanted to have that feeling, and they've got it today.
And I mean, what did you notice about, you know, how Frank was setting the team up, how they were playing compared to how you probably watched them under Rafa?
I noticed that they were more aggressive. I noticed that they played the ball forward more, and I noticed that they seemed to have an economy about their game where from the back it wasn't rushed. It was they took their time but got it right. They played between the lines, and when they did play between the lines, Gordon and Gray made a difference, and Richarlison, I thought, was outstanding today. Really punished Brentford.
And as Joe just mentioned there, for Brentford, the 5th loss in a row. I mean, it's probably good timing that they've got Christian Eriksen coming in. I guess at least, I mean, the one positive they can take from this is they can now sort of really focus on the league and getting back to getting some kind of results in the league. Yeah,
I think that's key and really important for Brentford. Brentford are a decent side. They've come up, they've had a good half of the season, first half. But now is the real nuts and bolts of staying in the division. This is what they want to do. They've got to address their corners, defending set pieces, because they conceded 2 goals from set pieces today. But generally, I think they're going to be okay, just especially due to their home form. Okay, well, it finished Everton 4, Brentford 1 in the 4th round of the FA Cup at Goodison Park. And it's time now to pick our man of the match here on Talksport 2, brought to you by Neutrogena T-Gel.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Neutrogena T-Gel. Get your head in the game and show dandruff a red card with the on-target action of Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
And picking the man of the match, a man no better placed, former Everton striker Kevin Campbell. A few players you can probably choose from in that Everton team. Who have you gone for? Yeah, look, I looked at Demarai Gray and I looked at Gordon, and I thought they were outstanding. Gomez was really good. But I'm going to give it to Richarlison at the top end of the pitch. I thought he worked ever so hard. He played really well, got the goal he deserved with a great bit of movement. One movement to feet, the next movement in behind, beat the goalkeeper to the ball, put Everton 2-0 up, and I give it to Richarlison. You've got to think that he needs to stay fit if Frank Lampard's going to Well, I mean, obviously Frank Lampard seems to have started quite well, but he's going to need to stay fit if they're going to build on this and get their way up the Premier League as well.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's struggling with injuries, so Richarlison has to be that focal point at the top end of the pitch, and he's proven that he can do it.
He has indeed. That was our Man of the Match, brought to you by Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo, the official partner of Talksport 2's FA Cup coverage.
Man of the Match on Talksport 2 with Neutrogena T-Gel. Get your head in the game and show dandruff a red card with the on-target action of Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
And we've already had some big results earlier in the day. We saw Chelsea need extra time to beat Plymouth 2-1, and also heartbreak for Kidderminster at the end of normal time and the end of extra time against West Ham. It ended Kidderminster 1, West Ham 2. Kevin, did you get to actually watch or listen to much of the Chelsea game? I'd love to know your thoughts on, you know, Chelsea shouldn't, as the European champions, be needing extra time to beat Plymouth, surely.
Well, I didn't get to see the game, but one thing I do know about when the smaller teams go to the so-called bigger teams is their cup final. And yes, of course, you look at Chelsea's squad and you look at the players they've got, they should be blowing Plymouth out of the water. But on the day, these players play up. They really do, and maybe Chelsea played down a little bit. I know Chelsea hit the woodwork quite a few times, but the key in any cup competition is just getting through to the next round, and however you do it, you know, you try and get through. So they've done well getting through, but well played to Plymouth.
Absolutely, and for Kidderminster, you know, as a former player, imagine, you know, being so close to winning in normal time and then being dealt that blow just as you thought that maybe you were going to eke out a draw in extra time. I mean, how must those Kidderminster players be feeling? Because, you know, if you look at what they've actually done, they were on course to, you know, do one of the biggest cup upsets ever, really, and just come up so short. But surely they'll feel a little bit of pride in what they did.
Yeah, they'll feel pride, but you know, it was a great opportunity to make some history for those players, and what an opportunity they had. They're at home against West Ham, who were struggling. West Ham was struggling, and but you know, the Premier League sides do have that quality, don't they? And they could produce a goal out of nothing. In the end, you know, Kidderminster didn't have enough. They'd be happy that they performed, but really disappointed that they didn't get the result.
Oh, well, there we go. Tottenham versus Brighton, of course, is our fourth round commentary coming up this evening from 8 o'clock here on Talksport 2. It's going to be an interesting one for them. Tottenham especially, they've had a bit of a more active transfer window, let's say, than some other clubs. I think 4 players leaving, 2 players coming in. And you've kind of got the battle of managers there. You've got, you know, a world-class manager, Antonio Conte, versus, you know, a man who's seen as, you know, one of, if not the best British manager at the moment, Graham Potter. How do you think that one's going to go?
I think this is a real tough game for both teams, to be honest. I think Spurs being at home are going to fancy their chances because they're at home. Got new players in, and under Conte they've done all right. They've done pretty well, and this is a competition that they're going to think, you know, we've got an opportunity to win it. Brighton under Graham Potter, I think are a really decent outfit. They don't concede many goals, and they've proven that they could, you know, go to Anfield and get results, and they could score against anybody and perform. So real tough game, and I'm sure this is one that is going to be decided by the odd goal.
Yeah, well, we'll look forward to that. That's from 8 o'clock. Thank you very much to our commentary team there, the former Everton and Arsenal striker Kevin Campbell, alongside your commentator for that match this afternoon, Joe Shannon. Of course, more live football coming up alongside Tottenham versus Brighton. We've also got Swansea versus Blackburn in the Championship coming up here in just over 25 minutes' time on Talksport 2. While over on Talksport from 6, it's an exclusive Premier League commentary. It's Burnley versus Watford. Let's see how Roy Hodgson can get on in his first game as the Watford manager. Of course, more live football coming up tomorrow as well. The FA Cup continues from midday with Liverpool versus Cardiff. We've also got 2 of Kevin's former teams. I guess we could say that. He played for Nottingham Forest and he played on loan in Leicester in, I think, 1989. They're playing from 4 o'clock at the City Ground. Of course, Forest knocking out Arsenal in the 3rd round. In between that, live commentary here on Talksport 2 of the WSL match between Chelsea and Manchester City. Of course, you can listen to all of that live sport across the Talksport network, all in one place on the free Talksport mobile app. We've also got live boxing coming up later today, which I'll tell you about more after this as we build up to our live Championship commentary. It's Swansea versus Blackburn next here on Talksport 2.
The totally immersive football experience.
Oh, what a goal! FA Cup Game Day on Talksport 2.
FA Cup Live on Talksport 2 with Neutrogena T-Gel. Get your head in the game and show dandruff a red card with the on-target action of Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
It could be a first-timer or a long-timer or a once-in-a-whiler. It could be a little or a lot. It could be the ticket under your fridge magnet. It could be someone with your first name and last and middle, or it could be you. Tonight's Lotto jackpot is £11 million and it must be won. Or thousands of you will win a share of the jackpot. Play on app, online and in-store. Lotto from the National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Estimated jackpot. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Deliveroo presents Match Day. There's nothing quite like being there, but spectating from your sofa can still be a win. And as any good coach will tell you, it's all in the preparation, so get rugby ready with snacks and beers from Co-op, Waitrose, Morrison's and Sainsbury's. Match Day groceries delivered in as little as 20 minutes. Deliveroo. Food, we get it. Geographical restrictions, service and delivery fees apply. Delivery times may vary. See in-app for current delivery estimates. 18+. Please drink responsibly.
Right, that's C.
Okay.
And that's G. Now you try.
Like this.
Oh, Dee hasn't just nailed the guitar lesson. She's only gone and cinched it. Just like she cinched her motor. There's over 1,000 cars added every week, and only the highest quality cars make the cut. So you can be certain you've absolutely cinched it. Here, we should do a song together. Buying a car, don't just nail it, cinch it.
Grab a great deal at Screwfix this winter. Whether you're brightening up a bathroom or stocking up on power tools, we've everything you need to get your job done. And keep you smiling this winter. Order through our app or at screwfix.com for click and collect. Or shop in store. Screwfix, here when you need us. While stocks last. Price is valid until at least 4 p.m. 6th of March. Visit screwfix.com for T's and C's, delivery charges and restrictions.
FA Cup Live on Talksport 2 with Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Official partner of Talksport's FA Cup coverage. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
Sunday afternoon, live. FA Cup football. Nottingham Forest versus Leicester City. Coverage from 3. Kick-off 4 p.m. on Talksport.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app, and on your smart speaker. EFL Game Day Live on Talksport 2.
So a massive day of live sport across the TalkSport network. We pause on the FA Cup action to bring you live Championship action as Swansea take on Blackburn Rovers live from South Wales. It's a 5:30 kickoff in just under 25 minutes time. Two teams in completely different form. Swansea currently 19th in the table with 2 league wins in the last 3 months. They lost one of those games. The last loss, in fact, came 1-0 against Luton on Tuesday at home, so not even in good home form. Meanwhile, Blackburn are second in the table, firing on all cylinders to see if they can get back to the Premier League after an extended break away from the top flight. Is coming up in just over 20 minutes' time here on TalkSport 2.
Clips it over the goalkeeper, it's free. Headed into the far post by Jake Bidwell. And Swansea City lead Cardiff by 3-0.
Right-footed, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and what a special moment for Brenton Diaz, the Chilean international.
Here's Patterson, edge of the area, chance to get a shot away! Brilliant finish! Patterson poked the ball through the legs of Bartley, and then steered it into the bottom left-hand corner.
It's headed up in the air, then cleared away by Middlesbrough. The shot cross comes in from Ed, and it falls into the box, and it's hit first time! And Blackburn Rovers are in front, and it's Gallagher with a goal!
So it's set up to be an exciting evening of football in the Championship. As I say, two sides in completely other ends of the table there. Swansea down in 19th, Blackburn 2nd. Adam Bridge will be your commentator for the game this evening. And Adam, I believe you've got the team news from South Wales.
Yeah, absolutely. Evening, everyone. Welcome to South Wales. Welcome to Swansea. And no surprise, the Stereophonics are playing in the background as we arrive here for this fixture between Swansea City near the foot of the table, of course, Blackburn Rovers near the top. And in terms of form as well, absolutely miles apart as well. Couple of changes for Swansea. Kyle Norton misses out through injury. He's one of the players who's missing. Ryan Bennett comes into the... and Ryan Bennett as well is missing out. So Jamie Patterson and Joel Pirot come into the starting 11. Patterson's an interesting story. They had several bids through him throughout January. He didn't play. There was a bit of a contract standoff, but they resisted those bids, and he's back in the starting 11 today because they need all the help they can get. Andy Fisher makes his second start in goal for Swansea, of course, signed from MK Dons. We think they're going with a flat back four tonight, which will be Cabango, Downs, Manning and Christie. Then two holding midfielders in Neacham, of course, the former Celtic man, and Grimes, with then Patterson, Wolf and Pirot playing in behind Michael Obafemi, who they signed from Southampton, of course, who struggled to find the back of the net, which has been, well, kind of the story for Swansea's season, really. As for Blackburn Rovers, however, of course, flying high, second in the table. They have played a game more, but can put some distance between themselves and Bournemouth this evening. Three changes for them. Bradley Johnson is one of those players that goes out. Etan goes out as well, and Sam Gallagher, who was coughing up blood after the game against Luton last week. Let's hope he's okay, but he's not fit enough to come in today. Ryan Giles has been signed on loan from Wolves. He spent the first half of the season at Cardiff, got 9 assists for the campaign so far. He comes in, as does Ryan Hedges and also Joe Rothwell. So for Blackburn, Kaminski's in goal, Lenihan, Van Hecken, Wharton at the back three, Niambe, Travis, Rothwell and Zafuric across midfield, with Buckley in that number 10 role, playing in behind Giles and Hedges, who will lead the line for Blackburn this evening.
Alongside Adam Bridge this evening will be former Wolves striker Chris Iwelumo. And Chris, you've got to look at the sort of players that are there. And it's interesting you mentioned Jamie Patterson there, Adam, because Jamie Patterson's a person I used to watch play for Nottingham Forest, and then he's been to Bristol City, and he started really well for Swansea, which I guess is why you've sort of seen those bids come in. I think it's a big thing they've managed to keep hold of him, because he offers them a kind of a goal out of nowhere for me.
No, you're massive. It's completely 100% correct. You know, I think he's one of those players with that kind of X factor. He can turn the game on its head with a moment of brilliance. You know, I was here at the Swansea.com Stadium when they played Cardiff, and he was the difference. He scored those vital goals, and he's outstanding. Always wants the ball. He's direct. He assists. You know, 4 assists, 8 goals this campaign. So it's a great returning. Fantastic for Russell Martin, the kind of player that he wants. And that's when you can only judge Russell Martin. You know, when he has a couple of transfer windows. You know, he's come in. He's got a very kind of a strong opinion of the way that he wants his teams to play, but again, he's inherited a team. So again, after a couple of transfers windows, that's when we can judge him. It's not where they want to be, but they are trying to play and implement his style, but they're not scoring goals. And to be fair, if you're not scoring goals, it's always going to be a difficult ask.
It is indeed. And we also mentioned, Adam mentioned there, that one of Blackburn's signings in the January transfer window, Ryan Hedges, is straight into the Blackburn side. As a player, is this a good game for you to make your debut for a new club when you're playing a team that's down the bottom of the table, and there's not, let's say, too much pressure, but you have the added impetus that you do need to keep going because you're second in the league and you're trying to get promoted?
No, well, it's the Championship. Even when you play at your best, you're not guaranteed the points, but you want to kind of get off to a start, obviously get your goal. He's come straight in, and you know what, with the service and the way that they're playing, it's only up to him. The chances will fall to him today. Now you look at it, they've not had successful victories since the turn of the year. Brereton Diaz is been away with international duty, but again they've collected what's it 8 points out of from a possible 15, 4 clean sheets through that period. So again, it's a team that plays with confidence. They can make it 4 points between second and third place today if they go and get a win today. So there's incentive there, there's motivation there. Tony Mowbray's done a fantastic job, but they're young, hungry players with a point to prove, and where they are through and deservedly so with the performances and the results they've been getting.
Brereton Diaz is on the bench today as well. I mean, he's literally just come back from international duty. It's a big ask.
No, it's not. No, I'll tell you now. Brendan Diaz would have came back and he would have wanted to start, and it would be Tony Mowbray and the sports scientists say, you know what, it's probably too much to ask on the body, the travelling, the games that you played. So be it. But again, he will want to play every single minute because he has been outstanding this campaign.
No surprise though, they've struggled to score goals since he's not been hitting the target. They've only scored 2 in their last 5 games since the turn of the year. He hasn't scored in the last 3. He's absolutely key for them, John.
Yeah, he really is. Again, a player that played for Nottingham Forest and sort of came through, and we sold him to Blackburn, and we were quite happy with the money we got. And this season, as we've seen, he's completely just blown everyone away. And Chris, as a former striker yourself, have you noticed anything different about his game, or is it just down to confidence and experience maybe?
Well, I think you've got to give Tony Mowbray a lot of kind of credit here. I think he's obviously told him he's going to be the main man. That confidence, again, he puts that responsibility and pressure on himself to go out there and perform. Once you get a couple of goals and you're in that kind of vein, that form, that momentum carries you on, and he's never stopped. He has that belief, the confidence, and once the confidence is sky high, like anything is possible, he has been outstanding. And I mean, his link-up play, his energy, his movement, he's ticking all boxes for me, John.
Playing alongside those players for in international duty, those South American players, Alexis Sanchez and Arturo Vidal. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. And surely being around them, that kind of class is going to rub off on you.
Of course it does. Of course it does. You come in, the level is raised. You have to raise your game just to feel part of it. He's done that. He feels that he belongs. He's scoring goals. His confidence is high. And like you say, he will be trust me, when if he comes off the bench today, he will be all over the place. Doesn't matter that he's been told to rest and need that time to recover. He will be all over the place because he'll want to start. He'll want to get back to scoring goals and putting points on the board. They are the underdogs that completely came under the radar and they're sitting, and they are very, very possibly can go up automatically if they carry on the way they're doing.
It is looking like a real possibility. If you're Tony Mowbray, are you kind of hoping that you don't need to play Ben Brereton Diaz today? Are you thinking that maybe he stays on the bench, he's involved as much as he wants to be, but you don't have to make that change?
Well, I think if Blackburn are comfortable today, I think he's going to be making an appearance anyway, maybe just to because of course man management comes down to it. They've had that discussion. He won't be happy that he's on the bench, but again, if he's needed, he'll be asked upon. If they're comfortable in the game today, I think Tony Mowbray will say, look, do you want to go on and get some minutes? The answer's going to be yes to that, and you know what, he'll come on and make a positive impact.
Yeah, I believe you there. And this is a weird one, Chris. I read a stat this morning when I was reading the paper that Swansea don't like Saturdays this season for whatever reason. They've only won 3 wins out of 17 in games played on a Saturday. Do players ever see stats like that, and does it give you a little bit of voodoo in the back of your mind?
It's only the journalists that put it in the players' minds when they ask that question, trust me. What is it collecting? What is it? Just 13 points from 14 games at home. It's nowhere near good enough. So again, the fans are in. I've got to say they absolutely battered Cardiff the last time I was here. The fans make a massive part of that, but they have to deliver. Russell Martin, of course, every manager's under pressure. They don't want to be sitting there. What is it? They've not scored in the last 3 matches. Only 2 goals in the last 450 minutes that they've played. It's not good enough. They have to, if they want to play that possession game, it has to have an end product. It has to be creating chances as well.
Absolutely. Well, there we go. Former Wall striker Chris Ewelemo alongside Adam Bridge. They'll be your commentary team for that match in just under 15 minutes' time. But it's now time here on Talksport 2 to get the latest odds with 888 Sport.
Football form focus on Talksport 2 with 888 Sport. What's your thinking? Download the app today. 18+, begambleaware.org.
And Sandro Di Michele now joins us. And I have a feeling, Sandro, we talked about some games earlier that were a little bit close. I have a feeling with Swansea in their league position and Brighton and their league position, there might be quite a clear favourite in this game.
Well, you'd think that, to be honest, but it's a strange one, really. I think, and this tells you everything you need to know about the Championship. It's an incredibly challenging league for players. It's an incredibly challenging league for punters as well. And as a result, Swansea favourites for this one. They're 13-10 to win the game. The draw is 21-10, and Blackburn, the 12-5 outsiders. I'm not sure I'd be in a hurry to back Swansea, though, based on their current form, and as Chris Ewelemo touched on, their inability to score goals, and that is reflected in the total goals markets for the game. It's 8-15, under 2.5 goals in the game. It's 11-8 over, and we make it favourite that both teams do not score in the match. So 4-5, both teams not to score, even money that both teams score. And big game for Blackburn, massive opportunity to put the pressure on the likes of Fulham and Bournemouth and the other sides around them, pushing for that automatic promotion spot. Blackburn currently 3-1 to be promoted automatically.
Okay, and then looking at our commentary a little bit later on, I mean, we've got two more commentaries coming up here on the Talksport Network today. After this game, we've got Burnley versus Watford, which gets underway about 40 minutes' time over on Talksport. That is our exclusive Premier League game of the day. And also Tottenham versus Brighton here on Talksport 2 in the FA Cup fourth round. Is there good money on Roy Hodgson to maybe start with a win in that Watford game?
Yeah, look, I think that this is going to be pretty attritional, isn't it, this game between Burnley and Watford. Both sides are going to be tight, and I think where Watford have been weak defensively under Ranieri, that is exactly why they've brought in Roy Hodgson to tighten them up. So we've seen a bit of money for Watford, but Burnley's still strong favourites, 23-20 to win the game. The draw is 23-10, and Watford are the 13-5 outsiders.
There we go, the new manager not affecting things off the pitch, it would seem. It'd be interesting to see if he does affect things on the pitch. And then Tottenham versus Brighton is quite an interesting one. Are the odds quite even on this one?
Well, look, Tottenham favourites, odds on 10-11 to win the game. I think, reputation, big expectations of Antonio Conte and that Tottenham group of players. But I suppose their form has been a little bit indifferent. Some ins and outs, of course, at the end of the transfer window. Maybe some of those new players will feature today. But Tottenham 10-11 to win the game inside 90 minutes. The draw is 5-2, and Brighton the 3-1 outsiders. If it's anything like some of the FA Cup games you've seen earlier on today, I think we could be in for some serious excitement.
Absolutely. Sandro Di Michele, thank you very much. Those are the latest odds thanks to 888 Sport. 18 plus, gamble responsibly, begambleaware.org.
Football form focus on Talksport 2 with 888 Sport, official betting partner of Talksport 2. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
While our live commentary of Swansea against Blackburn gets underway in just over 10 minutes' time, you're listening to the EFL Championship live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
EFL live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of free, family-friendly football across the UK. To find out more, search McDonald's Fun Football.
Get closer to the drama, the passion and the rivalry of Gallagher Premiership Rugby. The Showdown 2, Saracens men versus Bristol Bears at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Watch the mighty Men in Black host the Bristol Bears at the stunning 60,000 capacity home of their North London neighbours. Fill the world's best football stadium for a Gallagher Premiership Rugby match. Challenge accepted. The Showdown 2, Saracens men versus Bristol Bears. Saturday, March 26th at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tickets are selling fast and available now at saracens.com.
Philip Schofield here. Thinking about part exchanging your car? You could be barking up the wrong tree. Why not check out We Buy Any Car? Buying without part exchanging could get you a bigger discount on your next car. That's barking up the right tree. To find out how much your car's worth in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
Introducing the new McPlant. It's everything you love about the McDonald's taste, only this time it's vegan. With the juicy and succulent patty, co-created with Beyond Meat. A delicious vegan cheese alternative, vegan sandwich sauce, juicy tomato, onions, crisp lettuce, and of course, gherkins. Or not, the choice is always yours. It's our iconic taste, plant-based. For information about McPlant, visit mcdonalds.co.uk/McPlant. Served after 11 a.m, subject to availability.
It could be a first-timer or a long-timer or a once-in-a-whiler. It could be a little or a lot. It could be the ticket under your fridge magnet. It could be someone with your first name and last and middle, or it could be you. Tonight's Lotto jackpot is £11 million and it must be won. Or thousands of you will win a share of the jackpot. Play on app, online and in-store. Lotto from the National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Estimated jackpot. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
EFL live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of free, family-friendly football across the UK. To find out more, search McDonald's Fun Football.
Women's Football Weekly with Faye Carruthers on Talksport 2, the only dedicated women's football show on UK national radio.
Knocks it past her and gets it in.
With expert analysis, speculation and opinion from some of the biggest names in the global game.
Becky Spencer, Jamaica goalkeeper. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
All the action, excitement and drama from across the entire women's game.
I think she deserves an apology, in my opinion.
Women's Football Weekly with Faye Carruthers.
We are across everything that goes on in the women's game.
Monday night from 7.
On Talksport 2.
The home for women's football. EFL Game Day live on Talksport 2.
Here on Talksport 2, bringing you live commentary of Swansea versus Blackburn, kick-off at just over 5 minutes' time. And our commentary team for that match, Adam Bridge, the former Wolves striker, Chris Ewelemo. And we talked about Blackburn quite a lot there, I feel. And for Swansea, it's one of those weird ones. Do you feel that everything's kind of gone a bit downhill since Steve Cooper left?
Well, it's a funny one, that he left because he felt that he wasn't supported from above. I don't think the fans were entertained with the kind of brand of football, but it delivered results. Again, the playoffs and then the playoff final the following year, and then obviously look what he's doing at Nottingham Forest. So it was a massive positive for me, him being here. But again, Russell Martin's come in, who I've got a lot of time for, very engaging. He's a strong character. He wants to play his football a certain way, but I feel that you can only judge him after a couple. I've said it, after a couple of transfer windows. I don't feel the squad was strong enough in depth with quality to play the way that he wants to play. Matt Grimes was massive, so him signing his contract was a massive positive for Russell Martin. But again, keeping the likes of Jamie Patterson, players that have that quality, the way that he wants to get the ball down and play, that exciting, get the fans off the chairs. He still needs to bring some players in, but they're not scoring goals, and he has to do this while getting results, so there has to be a balance there, and I feel that he is arrogant, and I think as a manager you have to be arrogant, but you have to have a balance as well and have a plan B if things aren't working for you. So I just feel that he needs to start putting some results, or he's not going to have the chance to bring in the players that he wants to play the way that he wants to do here at Swansea.
Yeah, and what do you think is the greatest hope for them this season? They're 12 points above the relegation zone. I think they're probably safe from worrying about that, unless, of course, the results continue to be pretty turgid as they have been so far. But just get a solid season, get to the summer. Hopefully, he gets back to the transfer window and take it from there.
No, that's it, John. I think it's about just trying to put points on the board. But again, the way that he doesn't just want to win. He doesn't just want to put 3 points on the board. He wants them to play a certain way. And I understand it's about small steps forward, progression, implementing those styles. But again, it's so important that he doesn't get sucked into that dogfight down there, because, like you say, if he's not scoring goals and they're losing games, and then this place isn't a fortress at all. They've been shocking here. So it's so important that they just start putting points on the board. Win no matter the cost. Win no matter. Do whatever it takes to get those points on the board.
Of course, live commentary begins there in just a few minutes, as you can hear in the background. First, though, as it's the first day of the Six Nations, let's take a look at the rugby scores approaching half-time with Deliveroo.
Rugby update on Talksport 2 with Deliveroo. Your perfect matchday lineup of snacks and drinks delivered straight to your door from Co-op, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, Waitrose and more. Deliveroo. Food, we get it. Geographical restrictions, service and delivery fees apply. Delivery times may vary. See in-app for current delivery estimates.
And Stuart Cameron is watching the game at Murrayfield as Scotland take on England. How's it going, Stuart?
Well, it's all 7, England 6. They're ahead on the scoreboard, but to be honest, most of the action has been in the Scottish half of the field. England fly off Marcus Smith, opening the scoring on 17 minutes. Then a minute later, off went Ali Price with a head injury. On came Ben White from London Irish with his first cap. He scored a try, that's all he did, and went off again. And it was converted by Finn Russell to make it 7 points to 3 at that time. We've had one penalty from Marcus Smith to make it 7-6, so it's pretty even Stevens here, though, going into the break in about 2 minutes' time. But Scotland with their noses in front, 7-6.
Thank you very much, Stuart. And of course, Ireland beating Wales earlier, 29-7. That was your halftime rugby update with Deliveroo. Your perfect lineup of food and drink from your favourite stores delivered straight to your door.
Rugby update on Talksport 2 with Deliveroo. Match-ready meals delivered straight to your door from your favourite restaurants, including KFC, Five Guys and Pizza Express. Deliveroo. Food, we get it. Geographical restrictions, service and delivery fees apply.
You're listening to live Championship action here on Talksport 2, and it's time to hand over to our commentary team in South Wales, the former Wolves striker Chris Ewelumo, and our commentator this evening, it's Adam Bridge.
Good evening, welcome along to the Swansea.com stadium. It's your home of the EFL, of course, Talksport 2, and it's Swansea entertaining Blackburn, a Swansea side who are languishing 19th in the table right now, 12 points above that drop zone, but 13 points off the playoff zone as well, and a Blackburn side who have one of the best records away from home in the Championship. They lie second right now. They have played a game more than Bournemouth, who are below them, but they are 5 points behind Fulham at the head of the table, a point ahead of Bournemouth, and a chance to make that 4 today. But probably more importantly, they're 8 points clear of 7th place, of course, and that final playoff spot of 6th. Tony Mowbray's done remarkable things with this Blackburn side when he suddenly decided actually pretty football wasn't the way to go forward, and actually a less possession-based game and plenty of counter-attacking has done the job. And obviously it's been ably assisted, as we were talking earlier, by those goals of Ben Brereton Diaz, who is amongst the substitutes for Tony Mowbray's side today. Our match referee is Tim Robinson. He's in the green down below. Swansea, of course, in their traditional all-white and kicking from right to left in the opening 45 minutes. For Blackburn, it's the away strip of the red and black shirts, black shorts and black socks as well. Plenty of empty seats around the Swansea Stadium, but the atmosphere here inside this Swansea.com stadium is always electric when you come to this part of Wales. It's been a journey and a half to get here, but we're here as the players take the knee in front of us, another sign that racism will not be accepted in football. And the sound of the next whistle, it will be Blackburn Rovers who will get us underway here on Talksport 2. Alongside me, Chris Ewelumo. And this promises to be an entertaining encounter. All the pressure really is going to be on Swansea, isn't it? They'll see plenty of the ball, but at the moment they're struggling to do much with it.
Well, that's it, exactly. You know, I think it's one thing having the ball and keeping it well, but you want to be creating chances at the end of it, getting into attacking third. How many kind of final 80-yard box entries can you get? How many crosses can you get? Bodies breaking the net to get there. So that's something that's been very much lacking. Like you say, Tony Mowbray set this Blackburn side up. They don't need to have a lot of the ball to win games and put the ball in the back of the net. So it's going to be a very interesting contrast.
Yeah, there's an interesting way he's gone about working it with the 3 centre halves, of course, and these very attacking wing backs. They're on the attack at this moment in time, but that's an overhit ball that was being chased down by Sifuric on that far side. Let's run you through the two teams. Couple of changes for Swansea today. Andrew Fisher is in goal. The biggest thing is a change in shape to a back 4 with Christie, Cabango, Downs and Manning playing across the back. Neacham and Grimes, the 2 holding midfielders. Then the recalled Patterson alongside Wolf and Pirro playing in behind Michael Obafemi. That's the expected way that Swansea do appear to have lined up. Actually, Patterson's come out on this left-hand side. Pirro looks like he is playing in the hole with Wolf out on the right-hand side. Or, in fact, looking, Neacham seems to have gone out there. So we'll see how that Swansea side pan out. As for Blackburn, it's that traditional shape, the 3 at the back with Kaminski continuing in goal. 9 clean sheets so far for the Blackburn Rovers keeper. Lenihan, Van Heck and Wharton are the 3 at the back. Nyambe, Travis, Rothwell and Sifuric across midfield with Buckley in behind Giles and Hedges. 2 new signings, of course, 1 from Aberdeen and 1 on loan from Wolves. On the right-hand side, Nyambe is getting forward into the penalty area. There's the first shot of the game, and it's comfortably saved by Fisher in the Swansea goal away to our right-hand side. And Olivier Neacham immediately striding away with the ball.